Well, hi there. It's Paul Klassen, CEO of Pinnacle Group here. We're going to talk today about Renovate or Relocate. This is a brand that we developed about a decade ago, and it's really all about all of our favorite FM station, and that is WIFM. What's in it for me? So, as a realtor, why would you care about this Renovate or Relocate program? Let me try to go through some of the scenarios for you that hopefully you see the value in what I'm talking about today. My first value add for a realtor really is that you become the hero in this case simply because you have all the answers. So what do I mean by that? Well, you've got all the answers in terms of looking for this endless non-existent listing that the client has given you a very strict criteria on. It's a neighborhood, it's a school, it's a commute distance from work. It could be many or all of those. And those are really key items for a client. So as a realtor, if you see that you've got 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 listings in that neighborhood that fit that criteria, but you know every one of them does not check all the boxes. So every single one of them has a need for something. That's where Renovate or Relocate comes in. We simply work with you as a realtor and do the legwork for you to bring that project or that home to the point the client loves it. So that's us coming in, walking through with you. As you're showing the property, we come in and we provide everything for you as a realtor and everything for the client. We're providing ideas of what the design could look like. Is that a bearing wall? Is that a truss? What's the impact if I do this? And then of course, what are the costs and budgets associated with that? So really what it does, as I said, it makes you as a realtor the hero, because at the end of the day, you get to show different listings than you maybe would have before. All right, so we're going to talk about, of course, the most important FM station, what's in it for me. So what's in it for you as a realtor in terms of commissions? Well, we think it's pretty exciting because you're making your commission by selling that home or listing that home. But what if you show a client or you bring Pinnacle into one of your clients and you really determine, do we love it or list it? Do we renovate or relocate? And as I'm sitting there and talking to the client, we're talking about ideas, you're talking to the client about what listings might be available, and I show them what could happen in their own home, and they choose not to list with you. So it might either come through that conversation, or it might come as you and I leave that appointment. The client just realizes, we love our commute here, we love the neighbors, we love the schools, why would we move? That's a love it scenario. In that scenario, even if by bringing that client to us, if the sale doesn't go through, you as a realtor make a commission. That's right, you make a commission without a listing. So obviously the other scenario is they don't love it and there's nothing about the neighborhood or the neighbors, perhaps the commute distance. In fact, there's some negatives associated with their current residence. So now it's about going on a hunt. As you know, also well as a realtor, that can be an onerous task. So you're looking for that proverbial needle in the haystack that literally checks all those boxes. And I've talked to realtors that I'm not sure if this is normal, but up to 50 listings, like literally chasing around the city to 50 listings to find one. And then even then, it may not be the final solution. So really, this is about opportunity for you. And again, as I mentioned earlier, you become the hero as a realtor. Think about this. This is the scenario I'm going to present to you with Renovate or Relocate. Think about this. So you bring us along, you find what I call a shortlisted group of listings. So in this market, obviously you gotta move quick. I'll tell you another story of me sitting in front of a home with an MLS listing on my phone, giving the budget, giving the opportunities right on the phone, based on that putting an offer on the property. And then I'm going to talk about a couple of case studies. But in this case, we go up to 3 visits with you at no charge. So yes, I said no charge. Every visit after that, yes, we charge $250 for that. And that's just for our time and fuel. But truth be known, the first 3 visits, if you can shortlist 3 properties, and we've had tons of experience of this and so many great stories after the fact. I remember walking into one listing and there was a brutal crack in the foundation wall. And I said, it can be repaired, but do you really want to have that risk if there's another listing, a better listing available? So brought that to the table, brought asbestos, some of those concerns to the table. While we're looking through the home, I can tell that line was asbestos. So all those things are value adds again for you as a realtor. Your customer, the trust just goes through the roof because we now are your partner. We're partnering with you. We're walking through those homes, those shortlisted residences. We're showcasing the opportunity. We've got a gallery full of case studies we can reference right on the spot on an iPad or a laptop. That's what we did in this home with almost the exact same layout. We know that's a bearing wall. We know there's HVAC in there, but it's doable. We can make this an open concept. Look, here's the gallery to prove it. So when you come to the table with those kinds of solutions with your customer, why wouldn't you be the hero? Suddenly, I've seen people's eyes just lit up. Paul, we had no idea you could do that. I remember one case study in particular where the kitchen was central. It was a great room, formal dining, living. You've all seen it. You walk in the front door, formal living, formal dining, kitchen in the center, and great room. This massive home with this tiny little footprint for a kitchen. The client absolutely hated it. I know the solutions. Let's relocate that kitchen to here, and we can show you where that gallery is on our website today. That client moved in. The smiles, the excitement at our turnover day when we handed the keys, so to speak, it was amazing, absolutely amazing. You talk about fulfilling as you as a realtor, me as a renovator, them as a consumer. It is a win-win-win right across the board. Well, let's wrap this session up with the word trust. So if you think about Pinnacle, some of you may have known of us, but 2025 marks our 25th year in business. So seriously, 2000, Y2K, you remember that? Y2K was my epiphany year. So 25 years ago, we launched Pinnacle. I've been in the business many years, more than that in the neighboring province of Saskatchewan, but 25 years of business here in Calgary. From a standpoint of trust, can you trust Pinnacle? 25 years weathering what we've seen in Calgary. You all know what we've seen in terms of economic climate and many other climates here in Calgary. But having that as a baseline, so to speak, on that trust narrative, bonded, licensed, insured, been a founding member of Renomark. I've chaired the Renomark Council. We're part of the Canadian Home Builders Association. I've sat on a federal task force, so to speak, on the adaptive home living conversation. Spent 4 years in that committee building the manual for renovators across Canada for adaptive home living. So those that need help with accessibility and so forth. So these are just kind of quick clips for you. You can see all this on our website. But probably the biggest thing of all, I would just say, one of the biggest things, well, two of the biggest things I would say, is that we're the only renovator ever to have won the Better Business Bureau Ethics Award. And then the reviews. So for 20 years now, 2004, we've been providing reviews, third-party reviews, long before Google reviews existed, I might add. We hired a third-party company that will call our customers, go through a 40 to 50 minute conversation, 5 pages of questions, metric weighted questions to get to what we call an NPS, Net Promoter Score. Are they a promoter or a detractor? I'm thrilled to say this is a testament to our amazing team, great customers, and of course our trade and supplier partners. But we are now scoring at 0.83 Net Promoter Score, an average overall score of 91% of overall satisfaction. So a huge promoter position amongst our customers. So really thankful for that. And we're the only member of Renomark in Calgary that provides the SCC 3-way guarantee. We guarantee start, we guarantee completion, we guarantee the cost. 20 years on our this year, 20 years of providing that service. But then in addition, we did something back in Y2K here as well, is we opened up our doors to the public. So there used to be renovation tours in Calgary with the CHBA. A bunch of people, they left that, the renovators left that world. We continued on. We have calculated over the last 20 years that we've had over 12,000 guests through our renovation tours, pre-board and renovation tours. So again, all these reasons should bring you to a point of, yeah, perhaps we can trust Pinnacle. And that would be my invitation to you, is if this resonates with you, if you feel this is a partnership that could work, I would love to talk. Our team would love to talk. Let's sit down with your brokerage. Let's talk to all of them. Can you imagine if each one of your brokers, if you're an individual broker, if you own a brokerage office, each one of your brokers brought 5 extra deals a year to the table? Wouldn't that be cool? Don't just think about the deal though. Think about the outcome. Think about what that did for your customer and think about how that raises their referral rate. So to me, I love this program. We've had great success with it over the years. I trust that this resonated with you and we could chat again. Thanks for watching.